muscle 5 and my favorite muscle, and that is the muscle of self-awareness. I would say that the thing that helped me most in my time management journey was self-awareness. What does this mean? Self-awareness is the ability to observe your actions, to observe the consequences of those actions, to observe your thoughts, your feelings, your mindsets, and what's happening around you. Self-awareness, in a sense, it is like research of how you are doing things. So let me give a practical example. When I'm planning what tasks to do, I can do two ways. I can just say, this is what needs to happen, and I just move from there. Or I can see what needs to happen, check in with what I can do and what's my load and where I am, and find a balance between the two. Now, the only way to do that is by awareness, by learning over time what you can take and what you can't. For instance, you can see when are the best times to do certain work. Do you work best in the morning or do you work best in the afternoon? What kind of tasks do you seem to do more easily than others? Because those are the things that maybe you want to focus on. I remember that actually one of the biggest lessons in life was in realizing that what comes obvious to me is probably the strength, the biggest strength that I have, because that comes obvious and probably I can help others. So self-awareness helps us both to gauge the workload that we can actually look at. It will help us to plan better, but it can also help us to identify what is our mindset. So for instance, I used to be a lot, I don't have much control over my time, it's not up to me, I don't have any choice. And that is one particular mindset. And that mindset most of the time comes because I would have been focusing on things I cannot control. So if my focus is on things I can't control, so for instance, examples of things that I can't control, the weather, people's opinions, how much money I have in the bank, or rather how much money I earn or people give me, success, fame, security, these are not necessarily 100% within my control. So if I am, all my being, if all my thoughts and energies are spent on getting these things, then I will not feel any good enough because it is not in my control. And we feel good about ourselves when we actually have some level of control or some level of direction of what we are able to do. So instead of focusing on money, fame, success, which are, yes, very important things. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be aspirations in life. But rather than focusing on success or money or people's opinions, why don't we focus on what I do? So I feel good when I do something. And I am just good about that. So rather than looking at what success, whether I have success or not, or basing my actions based on the success that I might get in the future, I just work on doing what is needed now and doing what I enjoy, doing what's important, doing what's urgent, and I focus on those because those are the things I can control. By the way, there's another thing you can control is the quality of work you do. So if I focus my energy on what I can control, then what happens is my ability to influence grows. How? Mainly because once I start focusing on what I can do, I start doing certain actions. Once I do those actions, I start to learn what are the best ways to go about doing that action. Because I learn to do how to go about it, my quality improves. I will put energy and I will realize more and more where I can control and where I can't, and they will be very, very specific and very, very focused. And over time, what happens is you start becoming very influential because your quality of work is increased, your reputation increases, people start talking to you, you start reading more, and therefore your circle of influence grows. people start trusting you more. They will be more open to say yes to you. They will be more ready to give you money if you do a good job. And so your level of influence grows and grows. So in fact, this is the whole concept. There's a whole concept called the spheres of influence, which I believe came from the book of Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, which I would urge you to read. And that is kind of shows us that if we focus on what we can control, our level of influence on life grows. But if we focus on things we can't control, then we'll always feel at a loss with life. So one way, in fact, I actually helped me in my life is just, in fact, one of the ways it has changed is because I started to kind of plan things every day and doing them, I started feeling better. I've managed to achieve something. I gained some degree of control over my life. So if I started to say I'm going to do this and I do this, that would give me a greater sense of esteem, recognition, pride, satisfaction in myself. And the more I started to do it, the more I started to realize how can I be better at my job, how can I be better in my health, how can I be better in my relationships, by following the same way to bringing awareness, focusing on what I can control through I can know what I can control because of the awareness, and then by focusing on then improving the quality of what I do, that would expand my influence, expand how I feel about life. And what started to happen is my self-esteem exploded, my sense of control and influence of my life grew, my sense of organization and planning improved, my sense of things improved. So I believe that self-awareness, the aspect of observing without judgment, saying this is good or bad, observing why things are happening, observing what is happening, and seeing patterns in that. And that I think our brains is really, and our observation are really, really good at that. So self-awareness is perhaps the ultimate tool in time management. Because really and truly, you cannot really manage time. Time, you cannot manage it. You can't say, okay, today I'm going to spend less time. You have 24 hours and that's it. You can. What you can manage are two things. Your attention. By attention, I mean where you actually, where you put your focus on. What you focus on, what you do during the day. So that's attention or attention management. The second thing that you can actually look at is what's called energy management. So how much emotional, physical energy do I give to a particular task at hand? And these are very, very important. Really and truly, self-awareness helps you to keep improving all of these things. What do I do in my life? And that builds up towards success, money, and all of that. And energy, the quality of the things. So how good are things really? How beautiful, how effective, how useful they be. And together, I believe that they make time management.